security for himself and his family, press control that will be coordinated by Buckingham Palace, and finally, for his wife Meghan Markle to be treated as Her Royal Highness, complete with bows and...
For a reunion between Harry and his family. James, good morning.
Yeah, that's right, Gio. Good morning. It is 3 years to the day since Queen Elizabeth died, and London has been marking the anniversary with gun salutes this morning. Prince William and wife Kate paid tribute with an engagement in her honour, as did Prince...
It's unbelievable, but it looks like the runaway prince is trying to crawl his way back home. Yes, you heard that right. Prince Harry might be planning a return to the UK. But don't think for a second he's getting a warm hug from the royal family this festive season. Oh no, the atmosphere is icy cold, and the whispers inside the palace walls are louder than ever. The pressure is building. People everywhere are demanding that the titles Duke and Duchess of Sussex be revoked once and for all. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, who once basked in royal glory, have taken things way too far. They've used those titles like business cards, branding themselves as victims, and now karma is circling back. The palace is done playing nice.
Ceremony this evening for Well Child, which is a charity he's patron for. What we don't know, though, is whether he'll see any of his family during this trip. We asked, but a representative for the Duke declined to comment, as did Buckingham Palace. They rarely do on personal matters.
When King Charles stripped Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson of their titles, many thought that would be the end of royal drama. But no, that decision opened a door.
With the King's spokesman back in July, that was widely viewed as a step towards possible reconciliation. Harry has said he wants to mend the relationship, especially since his father's cancer diagnosis. A similar dialogue with his brother, though, does seem unlikely, but we will see what...
Rumor has it, that bold move gave Prince William the green light to do what he's been wanting to do for a long time, strip his brother and sister-in-law of their titles. That's right. William is allegedly ready to drop the hammer. And this time, no one's standing in his way. You can imagine Meghan and Harry's reaction: furious, desperate, and terrified. Word is, Harry is doing everything he can to stop it. But William, he's not budging. He's got a vision, one very different from his father's. King Charles may lead with sentiment, but William leads with steel. He's cutting out what he sees as the cancer of the monarchy before it spreads any further, and that, sadly, includes his own brother and Meghan.
It's all coming home.
Harry, who grew up behind palace gates, living the royal dream, serving his people and his country, abandoned it all. He walked away from the home that raised him, from the people who loved him, and from the duty that defined his life.
Face to face for the first time in 19 months. The last time they were seen together was February 2024. And of course, he had that court case and lost it. But after that, talking to the BBC.
And when he left with Meghan back in 2020, he didn't just walk away, he took something precious with him. His title, the Duke of Sussex. Now, the word around Buckingham Palace is that Prince William is preparing to take that back. Ever since King Charles's cancer diagnosis became public, there's been a shift, a quiet but powerful transfer of control. While the king focuses on his health and rests, William has been stepping in, taking the reins. And that, my friends, spells very bad news for the Sussexes.
At Clarence House, we know the king is also there, so that meeting is due to take place, or perhaps has already started. We wait for word. Daniela Ralph is there for us, and we wait for updates, but no.
Because when the future king starts running things, emotions take a back seat. King Charles, no matter what, is still a father torn between love for his son and duty to his crown.
Running there, Harry enters Clarence House. After reports, he will meet with the king. So we are keeping our eyes on their comings and goings and any word emerging on that meeting. So do stay with us.
But William, he's made of something different. The whispers say Charles hesitated when it came to dealing with Harry and Meghan, unable to act swiftly. William, on the other hand, wants to act decisively to protect the crown at all costs.
I think what we saw was the old Harry. A bit of fun. I mean, him like jousting with a balloon with that little girl at the Well Child
Awards. It was quite nostalgic almost seeing it, wasn't it?
And he just looked, I don't know, he looked a bit like a weight had been lifted.
Charles wants his sons united again. William wants the monarchy purified, cleansed of scandal and betrayal. Ever since Meghan and Harry left the palace, they've thrown barbs, accusations, and insults not just at the royals, but at the entire British nation. Remember that infamous Oprah interview? The one that turned royalty into a full-blown war? That was just the beginning. Then came Spare Harry's tell-all that ripped open the palace walls and spilled every secret once sworn to silence. To them, every private story became a cash grab opportunity. Every family wound became content. Every tragedy, a headline. It's hard to believe this is the same Harry who once had the world in his palm. The Queen adored him. The public adored him. He was Diana's boy, the cheeky prince with a heart of gold. But somewhere along the way, that light dimmed. Now, even his brother can't recognize him. Sources say William sees Harry as a stranger, bitter, resentful, and completely lost under Meghan's shadow. Once admired, he's now seen as a prop, a pawn, a man molded by someone else's ambition. Every time Harry appears beside Meghan in interviews, he looks like a man rehearsing lines written for him. She speaks, he nods, she jabs, he laughs awkwardly. He's the prince who once roared with confidence, now reduced to background noise. And let's not forget how close those brothers once were. William and Harry, side by side, bonded through pain and duty. But one woman came between them, and the cracks never healed. Now William's all about the future, a modern monarchy that can't afford to be tainted by scandal or self-pity. He's building something new, something different from the chaos of the past. And one thing's for sure, it doesn't include Harry and Meghan. But history seems to be repeating itself. Just like Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, who lost their titles after the Epstein debacle, William's ready to take the same bold step. Once, Andrew and Fergie got off easy, quietly stepping away but keeping their titles. Not anymore. This time, William wants to draw a hard line. He's tired of the monarchy being dragged into every scandal involving people who no longer serve it. Tired of ex-royals writing books, giving interviews, and cashing in on royal status they claim to despise. And when King Charles finally acted, revoking Andrew and Fergie's privileges, it sent shockwaves through the family. It also sent Harry and Meghan into full panic mode, because they knew they're next. Behind palace doors, Williams reportedly made his intentions clear. Every non-working royal, every person using royal titles for personal gain, will lose them. Period. He doesn't care about California mansions or Netflix cameras. He cares about the monarchy's reputation, and right now, Harry and Meghan are the biggest stain on it. Meanwhile, Meghan's business ventures, the lifestyle queen attempts like her jam brand, are failing miserably. The public's not buying what she's selling, literally and figuratively. And while she clings to her title like a lifeline, it's that very title dragging her down. Every time she uses Duchess of Sussex on a magazine or an event, it reminds everyone she's exploiting what she walked away from. It's a contradiction, claiming independence while clutching royal privilege. And William's done tolerating it. The same goes for Harry. He's now desperate, appearing back in the UK after 19 months, sharing tea with his father for just 45 minutes. That's all he could manage after nearly 2 years away. Desperate to fix things? Maybe. But insiders say it's too little, too late. Even the king's patience has limits. Harry once revealed in Spare that William had physically fought him, and he still stands by those words, unapologetic. He has burned too many bridges. And for what? Fame? Relevance? Victimhood? The once beloved prince is now viewed as a walking PR disaster. William isn't focused on reconciliation, he's focused on rebuilding, protecting the throne, restoring trust. And that means taking tough decisions, even if it means erasing his brother's title from history. Rumors say Harry's now flying back across the Atlantic to plead, one last time, before the hammer falls, to save the only thing that gives him access, status, and money, the title of Duke of Sussex. Because, let's face it, once that title goes, everything goes. The interviews, the deals, the invitations all vanish overnight. And Meghan, she'll move on. She always does. But Harry? He'll be left with nothing but regret. He's already a ghost in royal circles, a former prince turned cautionary tale. Once the golden boy of Britain, now the man who traded a crown for chaos. No matter how many interviews he gives, how many apologies he crafts, it may be far too late. William's already set his mind, and the king, weary from illness and heartache, might finally let him do it. The palace is done waiting. The public is done forgiving. And somewhere in Montecito, two people who once thought they could outshine the crown are finally realizing the crown always wins. And now, as the world watches this royal storm unfold, the question remains, is there any road left for Harry to walk back on? Because let's be honest, this isn't just about titles anymore. It's about trust, loyalty, and the legacy of a family that's ruled for centuries. People who once cheered for H&M now roll their eyes. The sympathy that once flooded their way has dried up like old royal ink. The public feels played like they were part of a well-crafted act. The interviews, the podcasts, the Netflix docuseries, it all seemed so emotional, so honest, until the cracks started to show. Every move Meghan makes now feels strategic. Every smile seems rehearsed. And Harry, he looks exhausted. Lost between two worlds, the royal blood that still runs through his veins and the Hollywood fantasy he's trying to survive in. Even the palace insiders whisper that the king, though still loving his son, has started to accept what he cannot change. He reportedly told aides that he wants peace in his final years, not another tabloid war. But William isn't built for half measures. He's ready to do what his father never could draw the line. They say history repeats itself. Look at Prince Andrew given chance after chance until it became impossible to defend him. Look at Sarah Ferguson still selling books under her Duchess title long after her royal duties ended. The pattern is clear, and William has had enough. He's seen what unchecked scandals can do. The royal family's dignity can't afford another blow. Behind closed doors, preparations are quietly being made. Advisors are reportedly drafting scenarios: what happens legally if the Sussex titles are removed, what the public reaction might be, and how the narrative can be managed. This isn't some impulsive move. It's being planned, calculated, and prepared to land like a royal thunderbolt. And Meghan knows it. Insiders claim she's been calling in favors, reaching out to allies in the media, trying to sway public opinion before the axe falls. But even her strongest defenders have gone quiet. The Hollywood elites she once mingled with have slowly drifted away. The glow has faded. Meanwhile, Harry's return trip to the UK is being seen for what it is: a desperate attempt to mend fences and plead for leniency before it's too late. Imagine the humiliation flying halfway across the world just to beg for the title that was once his birthright. Yet, despite it all, there's still that small flicker of the boy we remember, the one who smiled beside Diana, who hugged schoolchildren and laughed with veterans. The tragedy is, that version of Harry has been buried under layers of resentment and regret. And let's not forget Meghan's role in all this. She once said she wanted privacy. Now, every camera she once complained about is the same one she runs toward. Every speech about empowerment seems to carry a shadow of irony when her entire identity still depends on a title from a family she claims oppressed her. The British public is watching with growing impatience. For years, they've tolerated the drama, the victimhood, the endless tell-alls, but now polls show overwhelming support for William's stance. People want accountability. They want the monarchy's dignity restored. And that's exactly what William plans to do. Because this isn't just about family feuds, it's about survival. The monarchy's survival. In an era where public image means everything, William knows one wrong step could destroy generations of work. He's determined to clean house, no matter how painful it gets. Harry's story could have been one of redemption, the prince who left but found his way home. Instead, it's shaping into a cautionary tale, a headline for future history books: the prince who lost his crown. There's still a faint glimmer of hope, maybe a private talk, a father's forgiveness, a brother's softening. But even if that happens, it won't change the tide of public opinion. The world's patience has run out. And as Meghan and Harry stare into the glittering California night, far from the misty streets of London, they must know deep down the fairy tale is over. The palace doors are closing. And this time, they might stay locked forever.